Hello guys! Today we're doing something really interesting. We're going to take the original Flappy Bird and try to recreate it using AI. But here's the twist. We're only allowed to use a single prompt. No edits, no fixes, no second chances. Just one prompt. And whatever the AI builds, that's it. In this video, we'll be putting two AIs head-to-head, ChatGPT versus Gemini. Both will get the exact same instructions, and we'll compare the final results. Which one will create the better game? Which one will be more accurate to the original? Let's find out. Alright, so before we generate anything, I did a bit of setup. I created a project folder, and inside it, I added some game assets for reference. Things like the Flappy Bird icon, already animated, and the pipe walls as PNG images. The idea here is to give the AI a bit more context. So instead of generating everything from scratch, it can use these assets to build something closer to the original game. Alright, now for the next step, I'm going into ChatGPT, and I'm going to give it more detailed context about the project, so I'll include the names of the image files, like Flappy Bird pipe wall.png and Flappy Bird icon png.gif, and also the full path where all the assets are located. The goal here is simple. I want the AI to clearly understand what resources it has available, and then I'll ask it to generate a much more detailed and structured prompt, something I can reuse in tools like Codex or AntiGravity later. This way, both AIs will start from the exact same instructions. Now let's talk about the project. We already have the prompt ready, so we're going to start with Codex first. To make things easier, I already created a project folder called ChatGPT Flappy Bird. For this test, we're going to use GPT 5.5 with the intelligence level set to medium, which I believe is the default option. Now I'm going to paste the prompt into Codex and adjust the project path so it matches our workspace. Since the prompt already tells the AI to look for the image files inside the images folder, we don't need to manually upload them again. Now let's see what Codex can create using only one prompt. Before we open the game, we can see that it used around 27,000 tokens out of the 258,000 available in my plan. And so far, it created the project exactly the way I wanted. It separated everything into three different files: HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. So the structure looks clean, and now comes the most important part. Let's test the game and see if it actually works. Alright, as we can see, the game starts with a simple menu. Let's click the button and jump in. And yeah, the game actually works pretty well. There are a few visual bugs, especially with the pipes, but honestly, those are easy to fix. It even added some sound effects, which is a really nice touch. Gameplay-wise, it feels pretty good. The jump force when you press space is well balanced, and the falling speed of the bird feels just right. Not too hard, not too easy. For a single prompt, this is actually very impressive. Overall, it's a solid result, and it really does feel like Flappy Bird. Now let's move on to AntiGravity. I created a new folder called AntiGravity Flappy Bird, and this time we'll be using the default model, Gemini 3.1 Pro. We're going to follow the exact same process as before, using the same assets and the same prompt. Let's see how it compares. As you can see, it started by copying the images into the project folder and then moved on to creating the three separate files, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. That's actually really good and keeps everything clean and well organized. Unlike Codex, AntiGravity doesn't seem to show how many tokens it used. At least here it still says 100% even after creating the entire game. So we can't really compare the token usage directly, but we can still compare what matters the most, the final result. Alright, the menu actually looks a bit more polished visually, and it even has the Flappy Bird moving up there. That's a nice touch. Oh my god. Wait, let me try that again. Okay, so the gameplay doesn't feel as good as the one made by ChatGPT. Maybe it's just a skill issue, who knows, but the game feels way too fast. As you can clearly see, it's much harder to control. Personally, I prefer the gameplay from the ChatGPT version. It just feels more balanced. And on top of that, the graphics here look a bit worse compared to the one created by ChatGPT. What do you guys think? Which one do you prefer? Alright guys, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. As you've seen, both Codex and AntiGravity have a huge potential for game creation. With the right prompts, they can build surprisingly complete projects with very little effort. They're capable of generating full code bases, organizing files, working with assets inside folders, and basically handling a big part of the development process on their own. Thanks a lot for watching, and feel free to leave suggestions for the next games I should try to recreate. See you in the next one.